It looks like another big mystery attacker situation just unfolded at WrestleMania 41, and the list of potential suspects is massive. So let's get into the latest WWE mystery and see who could be behind this mysterious attack. This backstage attack took place during the WrestleMania 41 kickoff event. WWE's camera crew and Lyra arrived to the scene of the crime on time to find Bayley laid out in pain backstage. Lyra, Adam Pearce, and several others rushed to help Bayley, all while Liv and Raquel stood over them, questioning what happened and laughing at the scene of Bayley being hurt. Adam Pearce basically accuses Liv and Raquel right away of being behind this attack on Bayley, but Liv denies it and mentions how they've always been falsely accused. This, of course, is a callback to the backstage attack on Jade Cargill, where Liv and Raquel were evil heels, but they did not do the attack on Jade Cargill. They were falsely accused and framed for that one on that specific incident. So Liv and Raquel are denying being behind this backstage attack and claim that they've been framed once again. Liv and Raquel had their luggages in hand and claimed that they barely walked into the arena while Bayley had already been attacked. But when it comes to the list of suspects, you gotta put Liv and Raquel up on the list this time around. The first time with Jade Cargill, there was never much motive there for them to attack Jade. But this time around with Bayley, you can definitely see a little bit of more motive being there. If they attack Bayley, they either face Lyra 2-on-1 or they get a forfeit victory. Either way, it's a smooth route to a successful title defense for them. Another narrative that Liv and Raquel could be riding here is the fact that they were innocent for the Jade Cargill attacker after all. So maybe their case to defend themselves is to hide behind the fact that they were falsely accused for what happened to Jade Cargill, and that they're being wrongly accused once again, playing the victim and using that card of innocence since they were proven not guilty when they were accused of attacking Jade Cargill. So could it have been Liv and Raquel who did the attack? They're definitely on the list. Maybe Liv and Raquel are innocent again for the second time in a row, but considering the nature of who these characters are and what they have already done in the past, we cannot just take their word for it here that they're fully innocent. So Liv and Raquel are standing high up on the list of suspects as a possibility. But let's keep going down the list of suspects. We saw some fans half-jokingly mention Naomi's name, and yes, that's a funny guess to make. Naomi did the first attack, so she must be back at it again. Even though Naomi is an evil individual with a history of doing these sorts of things to people, we're going to go ahead and mark Naomi as being fully innocent for when it comes to the attack on Bayley. Naomi may be heel, but the character is still loyal to her close friends. And Bayley is a close friend of Naomi. There's no reason or motive for Naomi to attack Bayley here in this spot. So we can surely say that Naomi was not involved this time around. But what is interesting though is that Bayley was at the scene of the crime for the backstage attack on Jade Cargill. You had that big suspicious moment where Bayley ran out from in between some trucks in the backstage area when Jade Cargill was getting loaded into the ambulance. And we talked in great detail wondering if Bayley had a secret role in helping Naomi attack Jade Cargill. So could this attack be connected to the attack on Jade Cargill in the sense of karma catching up to Bayley for whatever the quiet role was in assisting Naomi for the attack on Jade Cargill? Can't write karma off at all. Maybe it's karma for all the bad things Bayley has done lately. Another individual on the list of suspects is Roxanne Perez. Roxanne is pretty much in between both NXT and the main roster right now, but fans have not forgotten that WWE had legitimately did start a little feud between Roxanne and Bayley several weeks ago that had quietly vanished. So is this a way of picking that feud back up? Is Roxanne making her return to the main roster by picking things up for where she last left it at with Bayley? That's something we cannot fully write off. So when it comes to Roxanne Perez, definitely have to leave her towards the top of the list as the potential culprit. When Jade Cargill went down, the mentality we discuss when trying to crack a case like this is that a backstage secret attack usually comes from someone you trust, a close friend betraying you, and something you never saw coming. So if we apply that same mentality to this backstage attack here with Bayley, the number one suspect then becomes Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is a very close friend to Bayley. They're literally one half of the four horsewomen in WWE. Bayley would never expect a brutal attack to come from her close friend like Becky Lynch. Bayley would especially not expect it right now, since Becky Lynch had been away from WWE for just around a year now. But there is evidence that Becky Lynch was in the building and near the scene though. Becky posted backstage footage of herself cheering and watching Seth's WrestleMania main event match. So we may not have solid proof at the moment of Becky being behind the attack, but we can at least put her near the scene of the incident. She was in the arena, that much is confirmed and known. What also is confirmed and highly known is that Becky and Lyra are very extremely close friends. So is there any correlation there? It's insane how similar this situation is to Bianca and Naomi's story. And we seriously doubt Triple H and WWE would just copy and paste a storyline and replace the characters. But we can't help but ask the same sort of questions we were asking when the Jade Cargill attack first went down. Was this all an inside job and set up from Becky Lynch and Lyra together? Becky Lynch was jealous of Bayley having this big WrestleMania match alongside one of her close friends. So Becky called the shot to take out Bayley and try to take her spot in the WrestleMania match with Lyra. We cannot write that off either. That's a possibility. So you gotta have Becky and Lyra up there as potential co-conspirators for this whole attack. What also makes Becky Lynch an interesting suspect is some of the reports that were coming out about Becky several months back. Those reports about Becky's return have been making claims that Becky Lynch is returning with an entirely new persona and character. They've been claiming that her longtime persona of the Man was being put to rest in favor of this new brand new persona. So it does make you wonder if this new character for Becky Lynch includes being a monster heel that's apparently taking out her longtime close friends. But a self-centered version of Becky Lynch isn't exactly new, because that's basically what the big time Bex persona was all about. But the reports keep saying that Becky is getting a whole new act. So maybe that kicks all off with this reveal of being Bayley's attacker. Another interesting connection to Becky being the attacker and turning heel is the fact that her husband Seth Rollins did just turn heel and align with Paul Heyman, and WWE does have a tendency to make couples have similar personas. So if Seth just turned heel, is it possible to think that Becky Lynch might be right behind him and turned heel herself? Once again, it's definitely a possibility, no doubt about it. Some fans think it's way too soon to see literally such a similar angle to what happened with Jade Cargill, but maybe they're going with it because it's an interesting and easy angle to really get the fans engaged. Everyone loves a good mystery story and a whodunit type of story, so maybe that's why they wasted no time in getting another one started up here at WrestleMania. Maybe it'll be a slow burning story like the Jade Cargill attack, or maybe they will speed things up with this Bayley story and we won't need to wait 4 months for the grand reveal. But either way, it should be a lot of fun to see how this new mysterious storyline unfolds in WWE. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.